I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listen Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion on topics that affect the Black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on the no-hating frequency, so be prepared for us to keep it 100% real and 100% Black all the time. Please follow the show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Man Listen Show. You can subscribe to the show on YouTube. Leave a comment, hit that bell button so you can get notified when we come out with new shows. Let everybody know about the blackest radio show on the internet, the Man Listen Show. I'm your host, Mark B. Let's bring the crew in. We got the whole crew here today. We got all four of us. So listen, we got a lot of new followers. We appreciate y'all. This is the whole crew. We the Man Listen Show. I'm Mark B. We got C, Arika, and Lav. Appreciate y'all following. Make sure y'all spread the word. Let everybody know about our show. We do a lot of good topics. We have fun. As y'all can see in our last episode, sometimes things get heated, but it's all love. Ja Morant. Ja Morant's been in the news, y'all. He's been in the news for a minute. I think, obviously he's a phenomenal basketball player for the Memphis Grizzlies, young talent. I think he's like 23 years old. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. He's been balling out, but a lot of people have been concerned about the company he has been keeping, some of the decisions that he's been making, and eventually, it's caught up to him. Ultimately, it's caught up to him. Shannon Sharp called him out originally. Shannon called him out on the show and said, "Ja, why are you trying to act hard? You grew up in a two-parent household. This ain't you. It's gonna catch up with you." And there's multiple incidents that happened, but the final incident, he was on live on Instagram, which I don't understand. This current generation, like, they got to document and post everything. Now, we're on social media, right? We're content creators. We put stuff out. I get it. But we're putting out stuff that we are producing. We're not trying to put out stuff that's going to tell dirt. Let me tell you something. If I post me somewhere, trust and believe, I'm already a day, at least hours gone before I'm going to post that, because I'm not famous, but I'm about to be, and I don't want nobody pulling up on me. But he was at the strip club, and he posted he had a pistol with him. And obviously he tried to delete it, but people had already screenshot it and had it. And, the Grizzlies put him on suspension. Finally, today it was announced the league suspended him for 8 games. Ja and his team announced that he's going to go into some treatment, some rehab. I don't know what he's going into treatment or rehab for. Maybe it's therapy to try to get his mind right. That's like the normal playbook for people who have crisis management when you're trying to manage a crisis. And as we record this episode, he has came out with an interview with Jalen Rose discussing what's going on in his life. So a lot of stuff going on with this whole topic. I know everybody's gonna have their opinion about it. Let's discuss it. What did y'all think when Ja posted himself with the pistol, all the news about him, the different incidents he's had with Shannon Sharp and the kid that came to his house that he jumped on and beat up? What y'all think about what's going on with Ja?
Every time you say Ja, my old ass thinks about Ja Rule. Where's Ja? But I don't know. I feel like now that we're at the age where every time I see any of these kids post anything on social media, all I can do is shake my head. It just doesn't make any sense to me, especially as a criminal defense attorney. I just want to tell them, stop telling on yourselves. Give me something to work with. Like, you're literally like creating a profile for your future arrest record. Like, you're doing half of the investigative work for them. Now, I heard I did a class today in jail, and somebody mentioned how they use Facebook to zoom in on the gun somebody was posed with, got the serial number, and linked that to some stuff. I was like,
what?
yes.
Wait. The pistol, the John Moran?
No. I'm saying no, just another person, but they're literally using social media to really, like, you know what I mean, prosecute these people. And they just keep giving them information. They just keep feeding it to them. And I think that a lot of what Shannon said was true. It's like, when you come from a background where maybe he kind of got teased for being square or something, so now he's trying to make up for it with his money and his new friends. But yeah, somebody need to go ahead and sit him down and have a nice little conversation with where he's trying to go, because right now he's just wasting money. 8 games, I think that's excessive, but whatever. What do I know? The league always quick to punish us.
Yeah, Nike's still behind him, but that's another story.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that they are. I don't think that they should have dropped Kyrie.
Yeah.
Before I let C and Lab jump in, I still have a problem with Shannon Sharp for multiple reasons. Shannon's on the right side a lot of times when he's on his show, but Shannon called out Ja for his antics, right? But Shannon was the main one at the Lakers game, being a fanboy, being the ultimate fanboy. Shannon, get some dignity about yourself. I'm a LeBron fan too, but come on, bro, you got to do better. And he's up here getting into it with these young dudes. Like, what are you doing? Shannon got to be in his 50s, right? I'm in my mid-40s. Yeah, Shannon got to be in his 50s. And you get into shouting matches with these young dudes on the court. First of all, it ain't about you, dog. Yeah, you a former NFL player. You a media personality now. But sit your ass down, man. Nobody, you're not the central figure. And if I was one of the young cats and you was talking, running your mouth, I'd have said something to you as well. And you need to sit on down. So I don't think he was the right messenger, but the message was correct. Ja, you need to chill out. So I just want to talk about Shannon real quick. Lab, see what I got to say.
So I'm okay with what Shannon Sharp said, because sometimes it takes a village. I mean, evidently his dad can't control him. I mean, and you named the 2 incidents, but there was 2 more after that. Remember, he pulled a gun on the security guard and he did something else. Like, he's out of control. He's a studio gangster and needs to sit down somewhere before he loses all of his money. Like, yeah, I know he has at least one child, because I see his daughter at the games and stuff like that with his dad. Like, he just needs help. I'm not really sure, like, why all of a sudden he just, or maybe he's always been this way and it just came out. Like, I don't know why he needs attention. Like, I don't know why you need it. Like, the only, and y'all know me, I'm pro Second Amendment, I'm pro guns. You can carry, you can have as many as you want, but do not pull them out until you intend to use them. You don't pull them out to take Snapchat videos or Instagram or whatever he was doing. So, I mean, he's a problem. I hope he can get back in it. I don't want him to lose his money. I hope the league doesn't suspend him for the rest of the year. But I mean, he needs to sit down for a little while and kind of think about what he did.
I think it's unfair for people to be taking shots at his daddy, though.
Yeah.
I think it's unfair because you don't know. I mean, because I said the same thing, right? Hey, T, you need to talk to your pop. You need to talk to your son. And it does appear as if his dad is trying to live through his son somewhat. Because when I first saw his dad on the sideline, I was like, man, was he a former basketball player or a rapper or whatever?
Right. Yeah, he's an attention getter too.
He was like, nah, that's just his daddy. But we don't know the discussions that they are having behind the scenes, right? We don't know that. And you can raise your child to be the best person that they're going to be, teach them all the lessons that you want to teach them, but there's a maturation process, especially when you're a young man, that has to go into place. And sometimes young men get it and sometimes they don't. I'm so thankful that my early 20s, even my late 20s, wasn't on social media. I look back, if you're on social media, you go like Facebook memories. I look at some of the posts that I made in my early to mid 30s, and I just cringe. I'm like, God damn, what the hell was I thinking? Like, why? You know what I mean? And I didn't have Snapchat and all the stuff that these youngs do have, But I think people are being a little bit too harsh on his pops.
But wasn't Lab,
here's
you
the other
probably
piece. Hold
remember.
on, train of thought. See, here's the other piece. What about his mama? He got a mama too. Why did they call out the mama? Why? Because I know my mama was the first person. If there was one person that was gonna get me in check, it was gonna be my mama. So people calling out his father maybe because he's most visible.
I think there's a history, but there's a history though with the mama though, because she was behind one of the incidents that happened earlier. So I don't know.
Well, what was his mama doing? Hold on, wait a minute.
She went to Foot Locker, and somebody or something happened that she didn't get the shoes she wanted or something. She go home and get John and his boys to come back up to the Foot Locker to get into it with the security guard or whatever.
See, I'm gonna give him a pass on that though.
Because no, I'm just saying. So you can't
I'm gonna give him a pass on that.
That's why I'm saying they're not looking towards the mom.
Well, hold on, wait a minute.
But Lab, wait
a
minute. I'm gonna ask Lab about the dad. But Lab, you probably know this better, remember better than I do. Wasn't the dad creating some like fake beef with somebody else in college's dad or something like that when they were in college? Remember, he was arguing over, I don't know, something about whose son was going to score the most or who was going to win. You don't remember?
I don't remember that. Only thing I can think of, maybe if it was with Zion, maybe if it was with Zion, because they played AAU together. They're both from South Carolina. They came up.
Somebody in college, somebody's dad. But I was just saying, I think that's why the dad keeps taking heat, because he has a lot of antics too that have went public. Okay. So
yeah. But I mean, but when it comes to the parent, like Marv said, man, you can raise your child by the book. Everything you do is you double check with the World Board of Pediatric Health or whatever you want to, psychological health for kids, everything. And at the end of the day, when you're 23, I did stuff at 23 that my parents didn't tell me to do this. They didn't show me how to do this, but guess what? I found my way to do that stuff, and a lot of it does have to do with the company you keep, the friends you hang around. And I think he's in a very different space than any of us were at 23. You're handed basically the world on a platter, and you can have pretty much whatever you want. And while you might not necessarily want to indulge in all this stuff, you got friends that might want to. And he said that wasn't his gun, so I take it at his word. It wasn't his gun. The incident in Indiana where they was pointing lasers or. What'd you say?
He had it on him.
He said he grabbed the gun.
What is it? The rig of possession is 9/10.
Yeah.
He had it on him on film.
So I think a lot of it
in criminal in criminal world. You're getting all of that time.
No, I think it's 100% on Ja. I mean, your parents can only tell you so much and specifically this situation, honestly, your parents is bankrolled by you. So they might not have that same willingness to have uneasy or awkward conversations with you because you don't want to create that friction, that strife. I'm as a Kobe fan, you think about his parents. He grew up in a great situation, but he still had friction with his parent, and it caused a rift in their relationship. I'm sure behind some of the stuff he was doing, and they probably confronted him about it and stuff, and it caused a rift. And so it can happen, and a lot of people don't seek out that. They don't seek to create division in their family.
I'm gonna give him a pass with the whole mama thing because I was a mama's boy, and I ain't gonna lie, man. And when my mama was alive, and she had told me like, "Hey, yo, this little paraplegic boy was talking bad to me," I'd have went and smacked the shit out of that little paraplegic boy. So listen, that's how much I love my mama. So I'm gonna give you a pass on that one, man. You got to ride for your mama, but everything else, they're gonna kill me for that one too. They're gonna be ableism. He's an ableist. But really, I'm not.
That's out on somebody.
But really, I'm not, because everybody can get it. You want to be included? I'm gonna give it to you.
I got something.
Yo. I know it's getting good. We're going to get right back to it. But check it out. Imagine your advertisement right here. Just click the link in our bio and we'll hit you up.
But the thing that really concerns me, though, is Ja is in Memphis. And I don't know how much y'all know about Memphis, but Memphis don't play no games. Like, for real. Like, when you in Memphis, you got to keep your head on the swivel everywhere you go. But in Memphis, you really can't be no studio gangster like C said. You can't, because the stakes are high. There's a high poverty rate in Memphis. There's an extreme gang culture in Memphis, and you can get got. You can get got. So I don't know, what type of circle he has around him. Hopefully, man, he could get somebody like the Carmelo Anthony crew. Because you remember when Carmelo first came into the league?
Yeah.
Carmelo had some issues, right? It was like, hey, somebody in Carmelo's entourage got caught with weed. Yeah. They were smart, right? Because they say, hey, no, Carmelo don't need no case. That's my weed. That's my weed, Mr. Officer. Remember, they got caught with smart a pistol. Friends, somebody in Carmelo's entourage got caught with a pistol. That's my pistol. I'll take that one, right? So I don't know if these kids nowadays, they don't know anything. She talked about it on the previous show. They don't know nothing about loyalty. They don't know nothing about honor. Yeah, and I'm generalizing because there's some that do, right? But many of them don't. Because the reality is this. I grew up in Topeka, Kansas. We had a strong gang culture in Topeka, Kansas. I knew a lot of gang members. One thing that they were not going to allow me to do, even if I wanted to, I wasn't no gangster or anything like that. But even if I wanted to be around, a place or a location where gang activities or crime or anything was going down, because they knew what track I was on, the first thing they would say is like, hey man, it's time for you to go. Vacate the premises. Now there was dudes my age, they can hang out or whatever, but it was like, nah, you don't need to be here. And that's how I used to be in the community. But like these cats now, man, they just don't have any type of, respect or this even foresight into, listen, we got to protect the dude that's got the bag, and I would like to see somebody mentor this dude. You see how LeBron did it with his boys. Like, yo, man, I'm gonna put you on as an employee. You're gonna learn to do this, you're gonna learn to do that. And then next thing you know, you Rich Paul and you're married to Adele.
Man. Hello from the other side. Right.
We're gonna give you the side eye. We're gonna give you the side eye on that one, Rich. You know what I'm saying? She got
the other side.
Yeah. Hey, but as far as the parents go, I think too, a lot of people, especially in the Black community, kind of glamorize a 2-parent household without taking into account that could be 2 very toxic people raising him.
Wow. Yeah,
like exactly. Just because they still together don't mean they was in there parenting like how we hold ourselves accountable for parenting. And so to say that he's, a studio gangster or pretending or whatever, I don't know what he is. I don't know who he is. I don't know how he was raised. I don't know what his experiences are. All I know is that he's fought his way to a position of success and, notoriety, and he needs to be mindful of that if he plans on hanging on to it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think he's being treated unfairly?
No.
I mean, I feel like the league punishing people for stuff always kind of annoys me anyway. Yeah. And then it's like my team punished me on their own, but now the league is punishing me. Like, for what? Just go along with whatever my team decided.
If it goes against the code of conduct, I mean, he took the rich white boy way out. He's going to counseling for it. So
giving interviews, yeah.
Why does? But like, you're allowed to have a gun, so I don't even understand why him. Having it was.
Well, the NBA, you can't have a gun on you when you're on a quote unquote road trip. That's official in their handbook or whatever.
But it wasn't his. They have to prove it was his.
If it's in his hand, though. So
he shouldn't have had it.
You said it's intense.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. But what I'm saying is I don't understand why he has to have 2 separate punishments. Like the team punished him. If I was the league, I would say I concur with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think the whole league punishing, I'm with you, Ricky, because sometimes it seems so subjective though. Like there's really no way to quantify this gets you 3 games or this specifically gets you 5 games. And so you're in a position where you're judging people's intent with their remorse. Are they really remorseful? And that's just that's a crock of BS. And it comes back to, some players that just refuse to give into it. I watched the documentary on Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, Chris Jackson, a couple weeks ago, and you just think about him. He was like, "I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that," and his career suffered. And I mean, it's not the exact same situation, obviously, but there's just whenever they want to suspend you for something, they're basically looking for you to tuck your tail between your legs and say, "I'm sorry."
Well, you got to think about it, and we talked about it. I have been very, very loud with my critique of the NFL. Right, we can go back on multiple shows where I've talked about the NFL and how it is similar to a plantation in its treatment of Black players and all the actions that they have pulled. But we like to think that the NBA is much better, but it's really not. It's like having, oh, you got a good master, but he's still master, right? So when you look at the NBA, the person that I hated the most in the NBA was David Stern, the former commissioner.
Yeah.
I could not stand that dude. And one of the things that he came out with, remember, was the dress code, right?
Man,
This is back when Allen Iverson, when the cats was wearing the baggy T-shirts and the throwback jerseys and all of that. And they said, nah, we're going to put in a dress code where y'all got to dress at least business casual, have a suit and tie because you're coming to work, right? And a lot of people called it out for what it was. It was racist. It was a racist dress code. They've gone away from it now, right? They've become more lax because you see cats wearing some crazy stuff.
They need it back.
They wear some crazy stuff. But at the end of the day, businesses make moves to protect the stockholders' interests, right? And the commissioner is trying to protect the owner's interests because he represents the owners. And what they care about are not the people that are on this show, our Black faces. They care about the corporate sponsors and the white families who are still coming to the games, right? And what they think about the players that are on the court. They still look at all NBA players as thugs. It wasn't too long ago when they was like, oh, NBA players are a bunch of thugs. And we know what thugs stood for, right? That's just another way of saying the N-word. So when you got Ja Morant out here trying to act like a thug, like an actual thug, right? They have to try to curtail that in some way. Now, do I think they could just be like, oh, willy-nilly, we're going to suspend you for 8 games? I'd like to see what the players union has to say about that. Because C says it's based on, morality code or whatever they may have put into the contract. But I'd like to see what's in the collective bargaining agreement where they could just unilaterally say, you know what, we're going to sit you down for 8 games and take that money out your pocket. Because when it was Kyrie, not only did you sit him down, you came back, well, you got to donate to this organization, you got to do this, and you got to do that. Are we seeing all of this? I mean, it just came out today, so I don't know. But it seems to me a little bit fishy that they could just say, all right, unilaterally, we're going to sit you down for 8 games. What is this based on? How did you come up with 8 games? And what is it? Just because he had a pistol on the Instagram? I understand they don't want another Gilbert Arenas, Javaris Crittenton thing, right? Where Cass is bringing pistols to the locker room. But what is it based on, and what is the players union going to do about it?
Yeah, I there has to be something in there that says that to give Adam Silver, the commissioner, certain discretion. 8 games, that's 10% of the season, basically. That, I mean, it seems harsh to me, but I think that it was something.
10% of the season, especially when he's in Memphis. I don't know what the state, if Memphis has state tax, but you figure, hey, listen, the NBA salary, if they're making, we'll just say 20 million. I don't know if Ja's making 20 million.
Yeah, I'm not
if he's
sure.
making 20 million, he probably done lost 45 to 50% of that just in taxes. Then you throw in the agent fees, and then you take another 10% of his money. That matters.
Yeah, no, that matters a lot.
The hard lesson.
And for our new followers, we got one Republican on the show.
I was just about to say, there go that Republican.
That is, first of all, that's not why I'm saying that. I'm saying they had already talked to the boy several times.
Yeah, and that's where the 8 came from.
Incidents that we know about, And after the second incident, they had a conversation with him. Like, you know, he even admitted they had a conversation with him. It's like he wasn't learning. Like, what do you expect people to do?
Get the switch.
Hey, I mean, you know, you hate to see it, but sometimes, you know, everybody doesn't learn from others' experience. There's a large segment of the population that has to learn, you know, that has to FAFO, you know what I'm saying, for themselves. So
yeah, I don't know. I hope that he gets it together. I hope that, you know, he's able to bounce back and have a fruitful career. And I hope that he gets the right people around him that can change his trajectory of where he's going, because the future's bright for the young brother, man. I was trying to go, and, you know, he was just here. I live in Dallas. They were supposed to be here. They was here on Monday. Yep. I was trying to go to the game, but when I saw that he wasn't playing, I was like, nah, I don't need Memphis ain't Memphis without Ja. Like, yeah. They're a good squad, but you want to see Ja play. So
he has to have a top 5 selling jersey in the league. I see so many kids, not in Memphis, obviously, that have Ja Morant jerseys. You know, he just had his first signature Nike shoe come out, you know. And for a young player in your third year to have a signature shoe, that's huge, man.
Did he not? He lost some sponsorship money too, right?
I'm not sure.
Was it a Powerade?
He did lose one. I can't remember what it was. Was it a food or something?
I think it was Powerade. I think it was Powerade.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
You know, because, you know, image matters, right? And people, when you're talking about associating your brand with a celebrity, it matters. And it matters as a celebrity how you manage your brand. And right now, Ja's brand is the Thug brand, and he needs to go ahead and try to reinvent that.
You know what's next?
What's that?
He about to have to cut off the dreads.
I hope he don't.
And no facial hair. You know, they don't like black.
You're right. He gonna come
with facial hair is scary.
Cut the dreads, cut his beard, everything. Yeah, looking like Magic Johnson. Yeah.
Imagine my favorite basketball player, but you can't trust a black man with no facial hair.
True, I agree.
D's at Nat. Flavor to your function. D's Daiquiri. Good people, good vibe, one drink at a time. Good people, good vibe, one drink at a time. Flavor to your function. D's Daiquiri. Good people, good vibe, one drink at a time. Good people, good vibe, one drink. Wanna kick back, wanna just vibe. Wanna kick back. Let me first slide to the drink store. Let me just buy Diddy drink mixes, all of them fire. Fill me up a case, I'm finna drop bread. Marvelous mango, classic and red. Took them to the party, these folks won't leave me alone. They wanting me to share, they better get their own. Diddy's at Nat. Flavor to your function. Diddy's Daiquiri. Good vibe, one at a time. Good vibe, one at a time.
You know, you were talking about all these companies, got to protect their brand. I do agree with that to a certain extent, but I was like, man, the audacity of McDonald's to say that they didn't want Cardi B and what's his name, Offset, representing them because of their moral values. I'm like, all the chemicals and pesticides you spray on that trash y'all hand out to people, and you got the nerve to all of a sudden have morals. Come on now,
But it wasn't McDonald's. It was some of the franchise owners.
Okay.
Because McDonald's was the one that came up with the partnership, right? Because they had, I don't know who else they'd done it with, but I know they had
Travis Scott was the first one.
The Travis Scott meal. I think they may have did it with somebody else. Then they
Bad Bunny or something.
Megan. Didn't Megan have some hot sauce or twerk sauce?
I know Sweetie did.
Sweetie, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Listen,
like that trash that y'all be serving people, slowly killing people.
Why y'all playing? Look, I told y'all I live here in the city in Dallas, and I would buy American Airlines, and it was packed. It was tons of people just going in. And I stopped by the police, and I said, "Hey, what's going on tonight?" They said, "Bad Bunny is here." Bad Bunny. Hey, I don't know what type of music. Like if you said, "Hey, man, name a Bad Bunny song," or your life is over. It'd be a lot of slow singing and flower bringing. But apparently he's major in these streets. So shout out to
that. Reggaeton or something.
But speaking of celebrities and brands, Sierra, Sierra made a lot of waves on social media. She was at the Oscars with her husband, and they were going to the after party, and she had on this sheer dress. And I mean, you really couldn't see, you couldn't see anything. The goods was covered, but it showed a whole lot of skin, right? And the think pieces were abound on social media. First thing I thought about was Arika, because sis loved to be like the first things Christians love to do, and I was just like, damn, these motherfuckers making Arika 100% correct because they up on her, right? I feel like Christians love.
Thank you for proving my point.
But it wasn't just the church people that had an issue with it, but you had a lot of folks who aren't churchy. You had some of the quote unquote hoteps was like, what's up with this? Like, how you gonna, then people was like, something must be wrong with their marriage. She's about to divorce him. And I was like, how do you extrapolate all of this? This man is sitting here he's sitting here next to
from a dress
wife. From a dress. Yeah, for real. I can show it to you. They was like, he's sitting next to his wife, and then come to find out, because people thought she wore it to the Oscars, she wore it to the after party, and then there were multiple women who had on.
Yes.
They were all dressed like that.
Janelle Monáe,
but Janelle Monáe, I need to find that one because she was.
No, she was like an Ebony magazine or something. She had one on. Yeah.
I need to find that.
I'll send you the pics. Yeah.
But I was like, what kind of theme was that though? I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, man, she wore it to the Oscars. That's not really that type of event. And then when I saw it was an after party and everyone else had it, and that was the theme. So then my next question was, what pervert came up with that theme? Like, what was the theme for the night? Like,
it's Hollywood.
No, it's not Hollywood. It's Holly Weird. But hey, first of all, shout out to my other show, Conversation After Dark. Y'all know I'm with that, right? But it didn't seem like it was an Oscar party. It did seem like it might have been like a
eyes wide party. Shut. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But what did y'all think about it though? What did y'all think about the judgment and everything that went towards Sierra?
I didn't see a lot of the judgment. In my circle, there was a lot of applause. A lot of congratulations, a lot of, so I totally missed the judgment part. But nah, man, my homeboy said Russell's married, Sierra ain't,
So that's messed up.
That's messed up. But yeah, people, it's part of the internet culture though, man, because everybody can react something really quick just from a visual, one quick visual, and you can say this is what's happening. You, like you said, you have think pieces. You can do deep dives off of a scenario of a instantaneous snapshot, and it means this or it means that, and it's just too much at some point. Just let them, if they're happy in their marriage, if they're not happy in their marriage, if that's what they chose to do that night, hey man, I'm all for it.
Yeah, and I think it was more of an illusion too, right? Because she wasn't actually nude under there, so that makes a big difference too. You didn't really see her butt cheeks or her, girls in the front.
Yeah, I think that I'm used to guys criticizing the way women dress, and a lot of times men are at least like, that's not the type of wife I want. Okay, good. Sierra don't want you. Easy. It'd be the desperate to find a husband women that get on my nerves with the criticism. That's not how a wife should act. How would you know? You ain't never been one. Why don't you focus on this? Why you ain't been one? Because you're so busy trying to be this idea of what a wife should be. Don't nobody want to take home a concept. They want to take home a human that fits with them. But you don't even care about that. You're just trying to be a wife. And you're like, oh, I want Sierra's prayer. No, you don't. That husband works for Sierra. It don't work for you. Okay. Exactly. And also, you probably couldn't pull that dress off if you wanted to. So don't worry about her and what she got going on. Let her live her millionaire life, billionaire life, whatever they doing. It's working for them. Worry about you and what you got going on at your house or don't have going on at your house.
I know you're feeling the show, but picture your ad right here. If you want to advertise with us, hit up the link in our bio and we'll get you on the show.
Yep.
And that was the thing for me. Everybody was like, that's inappropriate. that's not a way a wife should dress, and I feel sorry for him. And it was all these people were juxtaposing them in church, and Russ was on his knees and she had her hands up and they were praying as if they can't be totally human, right? They are married, they have a family. She's on his arm. If that man had an issue with it, he's an NFL quarterback. I know that doesn't mean everything in terms of like toughness, whatever, but I'm sure if he had, a lot of issue with it, he would have said, "Nah, baby, you're not gonna wear that. We need to try to find something else." And I think oftentimes we try to pass judgment on situations that don't apply to us. For example, there are guys who be like, "I'm not gonna spend all this type of money on a woman, unless I'm getting something." And if a guy does it, he's tricking. Nah, you know what it really is, homeboy? You dating outside your tax bracket. That's really what it is. Because guys who really got paper, they don't mind. I'm gonna spend some money on a nice dinner with a woman, and she ain't got to sleep with me if she don't want to. I want somebody who's going to give me good company, right? And if you can't afford it, just say that. Just say that, bro. So then when you got these people that say like, "Oh well, as a wife, she shouldn't dress that way." 1 second, we're talking about a pop star.
Yep.
Ciara is a pop star, right?
That's her brand.
She has a brand, and that's why I brought up brands earlier to transition into this. Her brand is to be sexy. Sex sells, right? So your situation doesn't apply to Ciara. She's in Hollywood. You are not. She's a celebrity. You are not. Now, if your homegirl shows up to the corporate function with an outfit like that, you might want to pull it to the side and be like, "Girl, what's going on?" Like,
right. Totally different scenario.
You can't do that. But play in your tax bracket, right? Yeah. Play in your tax bracket and let them folks do what they want to do. I dropped the mic on that one.
No, did though. Because to me, it's like we don't know these people. And I think because they're celebrities, we get caught up in thinking we know them. And so our opinions matter about them. It doesn't. Let them people live their lives.
Mine does when we're talking about Chris Rock. So.
and so though, you think about that. So where's the line drawn? Because then if it's inappropriate, would it be inappropriate for an actress that's married then to play any type of role where she had a costume on similar? Mm-hmm. It really makes no sense.
Slippery slope.
Yeah.
It's all entertainment. That's all it is. Yep. But even if she wasn't, it's their business.
Right.
People want to just judge, just like Christians. They want to pick and choose which scripture they want to follow this week and which one doesn't bother people next week. I mean, let the people live.
Come on over to the dark side.
Man, we got 2 of them now.
Yeah, hey, I don't see how. How's she gonna be a Republican and then talk about them as her people?
No,
them as her people.
No, it's not. I don't fit in a box. Don't try to put me. Don't try to put me.
I didn't say you fit a box, but you said you're a Republican. So them is your. I mean, if you ask, I guarantee the percentage of Republicans that say that they're evangelical Christians is pretty high.
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of Democrats that was wearing hoods and standing and burning crosses that they got from their churches in the 60s and 70s. So.
And then they turn into Republicans.
Yeah,
so
they did.
They still on both sides.
Yeah, no, they still.
That's true, but
that's not.
True. Yeah, but let's not make it seem like they didn't. Them Dixie become Republicans.
Like, they're the same.
Like we know the history. Yeah, but but they did the same thing. What's the girl? Megan Good. They did the same thing to her.
Man, yeah.
Oh.
She married old boy, and then she just got anything that she did was
heavily. Anything she wore.
Yeah, anything she wore, and I can imagine it just wears you out.
Yeah.
I believe that, and I don't know these people, but I believe that Russell and Ciara, it looks like they have a strong foundation. I get tired of the shots that people take at them. I get tired of the shots that people take at Russ, talking about he's a simp. I wouldn't want to hang with him. He's a lame. She really wants somebody like Future. she wanted somebody like Future, she would have married Future or married somebody like Future, right?
Just stay with him.
She's got a man who seems to love her completely, love her wholly, who loves her son, right? Her son that she brought in to the marriage. And they are a shining example of what a Black family is supposed to be. They're a blended family. They show that they love one another. They're entrepreneurs. I don't
support each other.
Support each other. I don't see why there's so much vitriol that goes towards them when we say, hey, listen, we don't want our young men to be portraying the thug image, right? Ja, that's not you. You don't need to do that. But then when we get somebody who's on the other end of the spectrum, and maybe they're way on that end of the spectrum, the goody end of the spectrum, we got a problem with them. So let's back up off of it, right? Let's leave Russ and Sierra alone. Let them be happy and let them continue to be a shining example of what a Black family is supposed to be. Yeah. But anyway, I think we talked about it enough. Make sure y'all follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at manlistenshow. Subscribe to the show. We got over 300 subscribers. We finally got over 300 subscribers. Now we're on to 500. So right now we're like in the 320s. We need about another 180. So every single one of y'all, holler at 3 people, tell them to follow the show. They'll be very entertained. They'll be educated, and they'll get to see me be right 100% of the time. And on that note, we'll to this time. Peace.
I heard him end the show after he said that.
Right. We had to.
Don't roll your eyes like that, man.